of 7,107 islands, high tide, 7,108 low tide, Philippines. I'm 31. I'm just kidding. I'm 41. I just want to know if you believe me. Because, my friends, they ask me, Isabel, what is your secret for looking so young? And I tell them, Hi naku Inday, it's all about moisturizing. That's why I use Dab. Because you're more beautiful than you think. There are many Dabs, but my favorite is Dab pomegranate. It smells so good, in Manila. I didn't even know what a pomegranate was. The first time I saw one here in Canada, I said, oh my, all those seeds so hard to eat. That's why I just put into my face. I'm living here in Vancouver for 8 years now. First 2 years I live in caregiver for the Choi family. After staying with the Chois, I got an open work permit, so I opened the door of my life. I told myself, this is it, Isabel. This is your chance to find new opportunities. And when I was young, I always said, I want to be a Broadway. So I got a job here at Tim Horton near the train station. After another 2 years, I got my permanent residence, and of course, I tried to get my family here right away. But that took another 2 years, so much paperwork and plane tickets aren't cheap, I haven't gone home to Manila for 6 years. But who cares? Who cares about that city? They don't film movies. They're like 50 Shades of Grey unless you're talking about pollution. Anyway, last year, my son Miguel moved here to be with me. He's 15 now. He was barely 7 when I left Manila, but now he's here. My son is here, and after all these years of waiting, this is all that matters.
Hey sup, Miguel here. Been in Vancouver for over a year. What's that? Oh yeah, Vancouver is okay, I guess. Pretty different. Well, very different. Stuff here is crazy expensive, like 100 times more than in Manila. We stay in this basement suite on 43rd and Fraser. Actually, I don't know why they call it a suite when there's nothing sweet about it. Freezing during winter, and I can't play my music because Mr. Hagopal upstairs complains it's too loud. It's nothing like the place we had in Manila, where we had real windows that overlook the street. Now the street overlooks us. Basta next year I'm turning 16 and I can't wait to get a job. I'm gonna get one at Timmy's. Earn a shitload of money and get out of this. Yeah, that's all that matters.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning when it's still dark outside. I look at the white beams of the ceiling and I say to myself, where I am, how did I get here? I feel like I'm in a movie of Leonardo DiCaprio. What is that? The one where you were in a dream of a dream? I know, Inception. Then I realized, oh my god, the dream is real. I have to get ready for work, so I make breakfast for Miguel and me. Spam, fried eggs, garlic rice, and lots of banana ketchup. I'm sure you didn't know you can make ketchup out of bananas, no? Only in the Philippines, because all the bananas in the world come from us. For your information, banana ketchup is not yellow, it's red. We make it look like tomatoes ketchup so that you don't think we're weird. In Manila, Spam is not cheap. We only eat on a Sunday before going to church. Now I tell my friends back home, you know what, in Canada, we eat Spam every day. After cooking, I shower quickly and by 6, I'm out of the house to get to work. Miguel doesn't wake up till 8. Hay naku, actually, I don't know what time that the boy goes to bed. I have a second job on a grocery on a Broadway and I am there until 10 p.m. By the time I get home, Miguel's in this bedroom with his headphones on. He always says he's doing this homework, but I think he's just watching videos. But what I can do, teenager these days. Sometimes I want to go into his room and just ask him, how was your day, anak? How's school? After a whole day of speaking in English, how would you like your coffee? 2 creams and a sugar. Would you like a plastic bag? After a whole day of all that nonsense, I'd like to come home and hear his voice to speak to me in Tagalog so that, so that I could be home again.
I got home after school yesterday, and I was starving. Opened the fridge, bagels and tuna salad, and leftover spam. I hate tuna salad. I'm sick of bagels. I want rice, and sinigang, or adobo, or caldereta. But Inay can cook these dishes on Sunday, on her day off. She'd make a whole pot, and we'd eat it the whole week. But today is Thursday, and there's none left. That's what the tuna salad is for. Back in Manila, when I lived at my lola's my grandmother every night, we would have at least 3 dishes. My lola loved to cook. My cousin Julian and Susan and Uncle Alex lived there too. Julian is a year older than me and Susan is I think 8. Anyway, Uncle Alex works at a call center, graveyard shift. He's a customer service representative for TELUS. You know, when you call to complain about your cell phone bill and you call TELUS, and you think you're calling someone who's in Surrey or New West, but the truth is you're talking to my Uncle Alex in Manila. How's your day in your school, Apo? Tired but I enjoyed Grandma. Good to hear that, Apo. Come, have some snacks. Thank you, Grandma. You're really taking care of me. Of course, you're close to my heart. Deep gratitude, Grandma. I'm always willing for you, Apo, and I rejoice when I met your needs. You're the presence of my mother's absence. And I will conquer everything for you, Apo. Always felt your love, and it is enough to be a good grandson. We're blessed to have you. Miguel, thank you for making me happy always. Forgive your mother because she is taking risks for your family. I will and will choose to understand, Grandma. They're trained to speak in a Canadian accent like, "How can I help you today? Let me adjust that bill for you." The other day, he told me that a customer was being friendly and said something about the Canucks game the night before. And he said, "Oh yeah, of course, the Canucks. My uncle hasn't watched a single hockey game in his life. If he saw a puck, he'd think it was a paperweight." Uncle Alex has dinner with us before he leaves for work. It'd always be so noisy around the dining table. We'd be talking about our day, joking around, and Lola would keep on topping up our plate with food. Man, I'm hungry. Now I go home to our suite and all I have is tuna salad and the TV. I don't know any of the neighbors, so I spend the rest of the evening playing GTA. And the best part is that Inay got me these headphones last Christmas so that Mr. Hagopal upstairs would stop complaining about the noise. So that means I could play until 2 in the morning completely undetected. Yup, that's how it works.
Yesterday, I had really bad episode at work. I had very little sleep the night before because I did the laundry and there was just so much to wash. Anyways, there was this woman who ordered a dozen donuts and I mixed up her order and gave her scones instead. If you ask me, I was doing her a favor by not giving her those donuts. Really? Anyway, she had to walk back several blocks with her little daughter to tell me I made a mistake. Of course, I kept on saying sorry. She wasn't rude or anything. In fact, when I handed her the donuts, she smiled and I apologized again. But then, when started to head out, she turned to her daughter and said, "This is why you have to study hard, my love, because otherwise you all end up just like her." Froze. Just like her. The words echoed in my head the whole day. As I served this sausage, biscuits, and maple donut and sweet cans of beans and corn, and I handed out plastic bags just like her. What does it mean to be just like me? When I got home, all I wanted was to see Miguel, to hear his voice, and I wanted to find in his face some sign that I've made the right choices, that I've been a good mother, that I wasn't just like her. I knocked on his door, Miguel, a knock, but he was asleep.
Couldn't sleep last night. It's exactly a year today since I last saw Itay, my father. I wonder how he is. If he thinks of me sometimes, when I was living with my Lola and then I was there in Canada. My father worked in Cavite, 40 kilometers away from my Lola's place. He had a sales job there, and because of traffic, it's really bad. He rented a room in Cavite and left me with my Lola. He would go see me on Saturdays and sometimes he'd stay till Sunday. I remember he used to say,
Don't worry, anak, you'll see your inay soon. Just wait, and next thing you know, you'll be playing in the snow and eating spaghetti and meatballs every day. Every night, I would wait for the phone to ring for Isabel to call and say, Miguel and Roberto, come to Canada tomorrow.
but as years went by, and as I waited for the particular phone call, I began to see less and less of my father as well. At first, he'd say he had to work overtime, that they needed him to work Saturdays. Sometimes it'd be because of the traffic. But even if didn't come, I knew. I knew that just like me, he waited for Inay too.
Roberto, I can't wait for the time when my blood doesn't boil every time I think of that sands of a beach. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm allowed to say that here? But yes, I guess there's no better way to refer to him. Or wait, maybe, 10 years ago, when Miguel was 5, I was watching English at a public high school, and Roberto was a med rep, this new wonder drug, and how it will cure everything from migraines to acne. Anyway, we realized at one point that no matter how hard we worked, what we were earning would never be enough to send Miguel to a good university or to buy a house. Our neighbor Pacing had a cousin who went to Canada through the Live-in a Caregiver program, and Pacing told us how their whole family got to go to Canada and find jobs, and that life was good. So I thought to myself, maybe I could do this. Yes, I love teaching, but I want to give my kid a good future. In Manila, a teacher's salary will never be enough. At first, Roberto didn't like the idea. Nakakahiya! It's embarrassing. What would the neighbors say? A teacher's going abroad to be a caregiver in someone's house? Roberto, there's no space for Hiya here. If we want to build this family, we'll have to let go of shame. We just need to do what must be done.
I know I really should do my homeworks, but who cares about that? Even if you don't get us, you're still a winner here in Canada, diba? University is just for rich people anyway. The other day, Miss Nelson, that's my science teacher, asked me something about the migration of swallows, and I read about it, but I couldn't speak up. I guess you could say I was kinda worried. That they might laugh again. The way they did a couple of months back when I said Shaughnessy instead of Shaughnessy. I don't know why, but I could never get that right.
In Shaughnessy, when I was working for the choice, I got paid $8 an hour. They took out $325 each month for room and board, and that left me with around $900. I would keep $150 to pay for my phone, my shampoo, and of course my debt from Magani, and some money for going out on my day offs. The rest I would send home for Miguel's schools and his living expenses. I was happy to earn more than twice I was earning in Manila. But, of course, I was so homesick. I missed my family, gossiping with my friends. I miss being a teacher. At first, I would call Roberto every week, on Saturdays when he and Miguel were together. But then sometimes Roberto couldn't go to Manila and to save money. I could every other week, then it became once a month. Every night before going to bed, I would look at our family pictures from the last Christmas I spent in Manila, and I think about how happy we are. Ay, ano ba, Isabel? What's a little homesickness? This is for your family. This is for Miguel.
When my mom finally got the family visa for us to come over, we had to wait another year to get the money ready for our tickets and stuff. Things were kinda okay the first couple of months we were here. Everything was so new and different. Snow, patin, chapadog. As the weather got the colder and colder though, temperatures at home got hotter and hotter. Inay and Ditay started fighting. A lot. And it was always about money. I could never hear everything at the start because they used to fight in the room. Then later, they'd fight in the living room. And by then, my headphones were already my best friend. One morning, I woke up and went to get some juice in the kitchen. And I saw the things were missing. The TV, the microwave. I ran to my parents' room to tell them, Inay, Itay, we've been robbed. Call 911. But all I found was Inay sitting at the foot of the bed, crying. The closet was open and my father's clothes were gone and haven't seen him since.
The moment I saw them at the airport, I ran and hugged Miguel so tight I think he couldn't breathe. I was afraid people would call 911 and report me for child abuse. I hugged Roberto and then we headed for the sky train with all the luggage and saw in front, while he and Miguel were looking outside the window to see what Funky was like. I remember looking at my son, then him, this man was my husband. The mole on this right chin, his mustard, his pointy ears, I recognized all of this, but then realized that there was also a part of him I didn't recognize anymore, and although I couldn't put my finger on it, I knew something had changed.
Things change so much here. The weather, the seasons. One day, you're at your lola's where it's always sunny and you have so much fun. Next thing, you're in a city, trapped in a basement, and it just keeps running. Your voice changes, your body changes, and you feel just like a pancake and iho. Your whole world flipped upside down.
So, of course, I took them downtown and I showed them Gastown, Yaletown, and my personal favorite, Metrotron. Everything was new and exciting at first, but then things changed when Roberto, no matter how hard he tried, couldn't find a job. He didn't want to do something like Tim Hortons. He thought it was beneath him. I tell him, but this is how it works here. You need Canadian experience. Nakakahiya, he'd say, and we always end up fighting. Because of my two jobs, I hardly got to see both of them. I'll be so exhausted when I get home. Many times, Roberto would give 5 blocks away to the house of Kiko, who's also from the same hometown. Kiko lived with his wife, 2 kids, his sister-in-law, and a cousin, and Roberto would go to there particularly every day, so that they could talk about life back in the Philippines and how was every day was a fiesta. Kami naman, the only time we had as family was day off on Sunday when we went to church, and that's when I prayed to bless Virgin Mary to knock some sense into my husband's head. I'll knock his head with something harder. Anyway, one night, this was like a year ago, he came home drunk. I led him to bed and drew closer to him. I smelled something on his neck, and it was not the smell of the pomegranate. I know every fragrance of shampoo, lotion, and laundry soap in the house, of I knew this was not one of them. Roberto, sabihin mo sa akin ang totoo. Tell me the truth. He broke down and cried. He's been having an affair with the sister-in-law of Kiko for the past 3 months.
Yes, I'm Roberto, the husband of Isabel. We live here in Canada when Isabel gets us with my son from Philippines. We stay here to work. I was able to finish a high course in the Philippines, but when I arrived here in Canada, every job I applied didn't match my completed course. So it lost my confidence to find a job. So I just hung out and always come from the house of my friend Kiko's until I got an affair on her sister-in-law.
At the moment, I could think straight after all these years working here in Canada, giving up my hiya to care for him, for our son. This is how you replace me? Lumayas ka dito, leave us, don't ever come back. He took his clothes, some of our stuff, and then he left.
It's all her fault. Why Itay left? She's always... Roberto, you have to do this. Roberto, why don't you do that? She's the same way with me, and just drives me nuts. Miguel, study hard. Do the dishes. Just eat your tuna salad and stop complaining. In Manila, I never had to do the dishes. Lola would always take me to school. Here, Inay keeps on saying, "Tandaan mo anak, school is important," but she never helps me with my homework. She doesn't even find the time to attend the parent-teachers meeting. And I feel I'm the only kid in school whose parent never show up. When she gets me home, she's so tired. How can I give up a whole shift just to be able to attend the meeting at your school? It's always about making money. More money. It's just for you, anak, for your future. But what about me now? What about my life now? She wants me to study college after. But what use to college anyway? She graduated from a university in Manila. She was a teacher. Now she makes sandwiches and works at grocery. What's a degree for? School is such a waste of time. Basta next year, when I'm 16, I'm gonna find a job and make my own money so that I don't have to hear her say, "Money doesn't grow on trees, Miguel." And how she sacrificed her life for me. But living so far away from me, not being able to see me for 7 years. Tell me, didn't she sacrifice me too?
Sacrificio. Sacrifice. This is what it's all about, right? Blessed are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's what Father De La Cruz used to keep on telling us at your parish in Malabon. When I was growing up, I had this image of heaven in my head. Everything was cold. There was the curtains, and there would be food everywhere and snow. The angels would be flying around and will be dressed in white. So even when my parents couldn't feed their 7 kids and we would go to sleep hungry, I thought that's okay in heaven. I have all the fried chicken I want with all the banana ketchup money can buy. All I need is to wait. And so when I thought of coming to Canada, I thought, what's a new few years of sacrifice? I could do it for a better life for my son. The night before I left for Canada, when Miguel was about to go to bed, I held him in my arms. Anak, tomorrow, Inay is going somewhere, okay? Where, Inay? To this place called Canada. I'm going to find us a new house where everything is cold with lots of food and where they have snow.
Sometimes, I feel this is when I started remembering things so clearly. That morning, Inay left. I remember waking up with the white beams of the ceiling looking down on me. I remembered my dream. I was in this beautiful place with big golden houses and snow. That must be Canada. That's where Inay said she was going. I was so excited. I ran to the kitchen to tell her. I saw it, Inay. I saw Canada. But she wasn't in the kitchen, and instead I found my grandmother. Where is Inay, Lola? I want to go with her to Canada. Lola bent down and held my hand. Miguel, your Inay has left. Left where? Aren't we going with her? No. Canada. It's very far away. This morning your Itay took her to the airport. To the airport? Why didn't they take me? Oh, they don't allow kids at the airport. Why didn't she say goodbye? You were still asleep, and she didn't want to wake you. But when will I see her? I remember the tears were already streaming down my cheeks. I want to see my Inay. And all that Lola said was, soon, Miguel. You'll see her soon.
Soon, anak, I promise you, life will be better for you and for both of us. Soon.
That time, my mother left when I was 7. Soon. Became days, weeks, months. At 7, I realized a very painful truth. My mother had abandoned me. And as the years went by, and her image began to fade, I could no longer remember what it was like. The way she touched my cheeks, the feel of her hands.
Just wait, anak. Soon will be everything alright.
Inay, all these years I've been waiting. Tell me, please tell me, when does soon begin?